All right, so there's guys out there who spend all day on Tinder, right? And they're constantly seeking approval and they get no matches and that makes them very sad. And their whole life basically revolves around getting validation on the dating market, whether that's hookups, whether that's getting more matches, whatever it may be. But their whole life revolves around getting this validation, and when they don't get it, they fall into despair. Whereas there's other guys out there who seem to be living life by their own rules, right? And they have no problems in dating or any other aspect of life. I'm going to talk about the difference here specifically. I'll talk about why hookup culture, or rather, how hookup culture is brainwashing you, right? And I'll talk about my experiences with it from the start to where I am now and everything I've learned. Without further ado, let's dive into it. I remember clearly that right when I graduated high school, right? This was like when Tinder was starting to get popular. And at that time, I signed up for an account and I didn't really get that many matches. And I thought, I just refused to believe that it had something to do with how I look. Cause I was like, I'm a good looking guy. What is this? So I took a picture from like every possible angle, like I tried like every combination of pictures you can imagine, right? And no combination really gave me any results. So at that time, obviously, that was a huge hit to my self esteem, right? And it made me feel really sad and feel like I'm not attractive to other people. So at that time, I think Magic Mike and all that stuff was popular as well. So I was like, okay, what can I do to become more attractive? And it's like, oh, get abs, right? Girls like abs. So I went on a huge fitness journey, right, with the only goal of getting abs, and I got abs. And well, I'm not gonna lie and say they didn't help. They did help a little bit, but overall things were largely the same. Still felt very insecure. Still didn't have a lot of matches. And I was like, oh, money, money. It's, girls like money. I gotta have money. So I started, grinding towards that. And I make six figures now. And still, like again, I'm not gonna say they didn't help at all. It did help, but not as much as I'd expected. It's not like I'm getting matches left, right, and center, and girls just can't get enough of me or anything like this, right? So that's not where I'm at. Now, this leads me to the first point, which is that my whole life, my whole self improvement journey, in fact, past 5 plus years, revolved around just dating validation, right? Whether that be hookups, whether that be matches, but just, you can filter that all down to just getting validation on the dating market. That's what it all revolved around. Every single action I took, every single thing I pursued revolved around that, right? And I'm going to expand on that in a little bit, but part of the issue here is even these self improvement content creators, right? They're all talking about, oh, you got to be on your purpose, bro. You got to be your purpose is most important. This hookup stuff, this doesn't matter. Yet 99% of their videos are about like, oh, look at all these attractive girls I've been with, and I'll hook up. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Is it like they're talking about all this purpose and doing things that genuinely make you happy in life, and not focusing on hooking up and all this? Yet again, 99% of videos are like, oh, this is text game and this is this game. Like, no, take that thought, throw it way out the window. We don't listen to those people, right? They put a train of thought on us that doesn't serve us whatsoever. And the one of the main points I want to make here, especially with the abs and the money and stuff, right, is at least the reason I was doing that, right? It was partially a facade and an avoidance tactic. And what I mean by that is I was so deeply insecure in myself that the thought of putting myself out there and expressing my interest in someone just it shook me to the core, right? Scared me to death. So I was like, oh, I can't put myself out there now. I need apps first. Well, I can't put myself out there now. I need money first. After I have money, then I'll start putting myself out there, right? This is how I was thinking. And again, these were all just facades and avoidance tactics to avoid putting my true self out there and going up to someone, for example, to say in a social setting and saying like, hey, I find you attractive. You want to go on a date sometime, something like this, right? I was deadly scared of putting myself out there in any capacity. So I'd put these facades up. And now I recognize that after I've achieved those things and been like, that didn't help as much as I expected. And I realized now it was just an avoidance tactic. That the next point I want to make, and this is probably the most important point in the whole video, happiness is not on the other side of hooking up with attractive people, right? Look, when I started my self improvement journey, that was the only goal, is to get more dating validation, all that, right? And from the start to where I am now, from the start I had zero dating experience. Now I've hooked up with people where previously I would have been like, oh, they're very attractive, and it didn't change a whole lot internally. It definitely didn't make me happier, right? It definitely didn't. Now I'm not trying to deny like hookups aren't fun and all that. I'm not even trying to make this video to say like, oh, you shouldn't hook up. Like, you're grown, you can make your own decisions. I'm not trying to judge people either way. But what I'm saying is that when I started, I thought this would bring me happiness and fill some sort of void, and now I understand that it just didn't. At that time, I was really insecure and anxious all the time. And if someone even showed a little bit of interest in me, I'd be like infatuated with them and, texting them. And it's like that didn't really change. That didn't really change because when I started hooking up with people, yeah, I had more hookups and now I had more options, fine. But even then, because the insecurity and anxiety was in here, it's like, these girls I'm with, when I'm with them, I'm constantly thinking, oh my God, do they like me? Do they not like me? Was that weird? Will they still like me tomorrow or the next week? Like, that train of thought was still there. I had the abs, I had the money. Again, I had more options, but that train of thought remained because that's a void that's in here. And that's like hooking up with more attractive people isn't gonna fix that. It's not gonna fix that, right? I thought it would, and I can tell you, at least from my experience, it didn't. Now, the next point I want to touch on is this all really, again, at least for me, this all really came down to approval seeking. And I had to take a deep look inside and really think about, why do I want this much approval so badly? Right? Why do I want this much approval so badly? And it's honestly like I'm tearing up a little as I talk about it because this does hit a little deep, but it was understanding, right? Understanding that how little, how low my self esteem was and how little I thought of myself, right? And it was understanding that that's it just that's what constantly caused me to seek approval over and over and over again, right? And I've understood this fairly recently, and it's really helped me out in a lot of aspects of life. I'm now starting to put my genuine self out there, right? Now starting to understand what I want to do, what I want, right? Because throughout most of my self improvement life, like, dude, I've been miserable. I've been miserable, right? And I'm not kidding when I say that. Again, like trying to get abs just to get more dates, like starving, eating like cans of tuna. Because the thing is, like, fitness and all that is great. I'm not trying to, crap on fitness, but achieve like the social media look, right? Unless you're on drugs, that actually isn't healthy at all. Like half the time you're starving, you're drinking coffee just to suppress your appetite. And that's what I was doing just to try to get more approval. And then even on the money side, I mean, I'm glad I put the effort in on the money side. I actually do like my career. But point being, again, that all stemmed from I need approval, I need validation, right? And again, through most of my self improvement journey, I've been absolutely miserable, because it wasn't like I'm going on this fitness stuff. For me, it was like, oh, I'm gonna look great, then people will like me, then I'll get more dates. And it, again, thinking like that, it just brainwashes you into living your life largely for the validation of others, right? Largely for the validation of others. And at least what that did for me, is every single time I didn't get that validation, it would send me into downward spirals of negative thought cycles of sadness and all that stuff, right? And now that I'm living life more so on my own terms, one of the things, which, by the way, that involves probably the one that, I'll be honest, I hate the most, but I recognize it's a non-negotiable part of the process, is putting yourself out there constantly in social situations, in dating situations, doing that, right? And as you put yourself out there, you're gonna find people that mesh with you. Now, again, whether you, on the relationship side, whether you decide to do hookups or relationships, that's not my business, right? And that's not even the point of this video. I'm not trying to say hookups are bad, because I genuinely don't think like that. Again, we're all grown. We can make our own decisions on that point of what we want in life. But the thing is the main point I'm trying to get across is to hook up just for the sake of, well, I'll be happier after I hook up with this attractive person, or hooking up with this attractive person is going to fill this void inside, right? Like, it won't. I promise you. Again, at least in my experience, hey, I promise you it won't, right? So this obsession with approval, I think it can be traced down to understanding that there's something inside of you that's causing a lot of insecurities and causing this overcompensating. And I think addressing that thing is more important than just trying to get that approval all the time. That's the main point I'm making right now. With that said, I wouldn't have realized all this stuff had I not walked this path and then tried it and then realized, okay, well, that didn't really make me happy, and then kind of start getting this self-awareness. So that's why I struggle to even tell people, like, oh, do this or don't do this. It's like, walk your path, you'll figure it out. But at the same time, this was just my experience, and I hope at least some of that was valuable. Now, I'm just going to end this video off by saying, hey, be kind to yourself throughout this process. Look, again, my background, I started self improvement all from deep, deep, deep insecurities, right? And I was so negative and so hard on myself throughout most of it, right? If not like almost all of it, right? And like if I had missed a PR at the gym, I'd be like, "Oh, you're so whatever." Like I'm not gonna swear here, but you can get the idea. Oh, you're like this. You can't even do this. That's pathetic. Blah blah. If I failed like an assignment again, same thing. Getting caught in the negative thought cycles, beating myself up over every little thing, right? Oh, I didn't get enough matches, and now I'm gonna feel like crap about myself. Like, come on, man, come on, right? So if any of that's relatable, we gotta have more self-respect for ourselves than that, right? Be proud of yourself every single day. You show up to do hard things. Keep on pushing. Keep on putting the hard work day in, day out, because a lot of people will start the self-improvement stuff. Not a lot will see it through till the end. And also, hard work always, always, always pays off, right? And this is going to be no exception. Keep on putting in the work, and I'm confident you'll achieve your goals. Now, I just want you to imagine for a second. Imagine you take this advice, you run with it, right? You're putting yourself out there constantly, constantly, constantly. Yeah, you get rejections, all that. Yes, of course, it sucks, but you keep it pushing, right? And now your dating life is improving day by day by day, where you're hooking up or relationship, whatever it is you want. You're having that with people you genuinely enjoy spending time with, right? I want you to imagine your social life is improving day by day as well. Because again, you're putting yourself out there constantly. Yeah, there were rejections, there were rough patches, but now you got a good group of friends, right? Who you can rely on and who you enjoy spending time with. And your money is improving day by day as well. As you've done this self improvement stuff, you stay consistent with your career, and your money has grown exponentially. Imagine that. And that's the path you're on. Keep working hard. I believe in you. But what I believe doesn't matter. What you believe matters. So I hope you believe in yourself too. And that's all I got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Ultimately, I want this to be our positive little community where we help each other, support each other, and help each other get to the next level in life. So please come join the community. I'll leave my Instagram, TikTok in the description, also somewhere here. Please do support there as well. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Just to be transparent with what I'm trying to do here. Look, I like my job. I really do. But I'd be lying if I said the passion for it is there, right? The passion for it is not quite there the way that it is for YouTube. I genuinely started to find a passion for YouTube, making content. This doesn't feel like work to me, like I really do enjoy this. So I want to take this on full time. Hopefully start getting some money from this so I can hire editors and stuff and really take my content to the next level. So if you like the content, please do like, comment, subscribe, show support. That will greatly help me make my dream a reality. I'll talk to you later. Peace.